Welcome back to Scar Bodged Not Built. So in this episode we're going to take a look at what is going to be my new running chassis. Previously I was running this FF02, which as you can see has seen better days. The reason I've decided I'm not going to use this anymore is it's actually in pretty decent condition. There's a couple of bits I need to replace, but also these chassis parts are actually getting quite hard to find now. You can't get them now. So I've decided before the shock mount split, which usually happens on this chassis, I'm going to stop using this one and we're going to use the TT01. So we're going to use it to test 3D printed wheels. We've got FDM printed, we've got resin printed. We're also going to test some other 3D printed parts as well. So this one's actually got a body mount missing, so I've designed and printed some up. It's also going to have one of my intercooler kits fitted. Do need to do some repairs on the chassis as well. So one of the body mount posts was actually snapped off, so we're going to replace the housing on that and then fit the body post to it. Might try and make a diffuser that mounts to the chassis, we'll see. This is the body that actually came with it, which I kind of like the paint job on it, don't really want to wreck it, so we're going to stick that up on the shelf. And the body we're actually going to run is going to be this battered old Volvo. It's had a terrible paint job, not done by me. So rear quarter windows have obviously been painted. I'm not sure what's going on with the stickers for the moulding, along with everything else. So they're going to be peeled off. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this tidying it up, but not too much. First things first, let's get the chassis stripped. The front diff stripped off. As I say, we're going to be replacing the bushes for bearings, so we'll strip that all down, give it a little bit of a clean up, get the bearings in. Just carry on stripping the rear diff out of it now. Right, so now that's everything cleaned up, we're going to start rebuilding it and replace the bushes of bearings. So the first one we're going to replace is that one there. So we're going to pull the bush off, re-grease it and fit it. That's that one replaced. Next is the two that are sat behind the gears either end of the prop shaft. So let's get them replaced. So that's the two bearings replaced behind there. The one in there and the one behind that gear there. And let's get the diffs back together. So that's all the suspension back on for the most part. The arms, gearbox cases, all the bearings in, spare gear cover. Also pop the balls out of the front suspension, grease those up. You can see the joints on the arms are all greased up, moving nice and free. Next step, get the bearings in on the hubs, get them back on. So they're 1150 bearings. So let's get them on. So did any of you spot the mistake? I got the arms the wrong way around. I just realised when I looked at where the shock mountings are. Shock mounting was up here, and that ain't going to work. So I'll put that right. That's everything, all the bearings in now, everything greased up. Everything moves nice and free. Now to get the brakes and the wheels on, and the chassis should be complete once I put the steering arms on as well, and the shocks. The shocks on. I know some of you are probably screaming that I should put oil shocks on instead of the friction ones, but to be honest, it's only going to be used for generally running around, bashing and just messing about, which is why I haven't put an aluminium prop shaft on it. We're just going to stick with the friction shocks. Now before I get the wheels on, I'm going to fit a set of my caliper kits that you might have seen on some of the other cars. So we're going to get them fitted onto the TT01. So for caliper colours, I'm literally just going to go with 4 random colours that I've picked off from the sheet I did that shows the calipers in different colours. So we're going with an orange, green, blue and a bright pink, just because. So let's get them on. So there's calipers and discs all fitted. Gone with the FDM printed wheels on the front, the resin printed wheels on the back. One more thing to put on the chassis. It's going to be one of my intercooler kits, so let's get that mounted. That's the intercooler kit fitted. let's make sure it clears the front of the Volvo. Plenty of room. Next up on the chassis is getting the body mounts fitted. So there's two types. Ones that sit closer, ones that sit far away. I've got a funny feeling that I need 4 of the ones that sit closer to match up with the countless holes that have already been put in this body. So let's see how they line up. There we go, that's the body sat on the body mounts. Seems pretty even on the arches. These arches need cleaning up, but that's the next step, to tidy up this body and get rid of some of these stickers and replace them. So let's get on with that then. Right, so we're going to clean the body up. One of the first things we're going to do, start cleaning up the paint around the windows, tidy that up, remove it from the rear quarter windows, of course around there, and tidy up this line here. So to do that, I'm going to use some Carson paint killer and some cotton buds or Q-tips, depending on where you are. So let's get it done. So that took a lot longer than I would have liked, but you can also see parts of it. The paint is nowhere near where the window should be, so we're going to bodge it. Blue marker, colour in where we need it, got a little spot up here. And then there you go, you can just about see it was there. So we're going to use that to fill in where any of the paint's missing. But first we need to get some new window trims on. So I've already done the one side, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So first of all, I'm going to peel off all these old ones that were, well, I don't know what's going on with them to be honest, but they're coming off. So there they are, peeled off. So the next thing we're going to do is use some wide PVC electrical tape. We're going to stick it over the window and then we'll cut around it. May look a mess at the minute, but you can see the outline on the windows. So we're just going to get a blade, go around that and trim it all up. Once the side's done, I'm going to attempt to do the same now with the windscreen and the rear window. I will remove the rest of that, but I'll do that after. So that's pretty much all the windows done. Kept a bit of a sun strip on the top. Now we're going to go around and fill in all the gaps. So that's the rest of the stickers peeled and all the gaps filled in. Shows up worse on camera than it does in person. But like I said, I ain't looking for perfection on this one. I'm just going to run it anyway. Also cut the front out so you can see the intercooler. Got some mirrors fitted. I've got a spoiler for the back, so let's get that on. That's the spoiler all mounted up. Ended up printing some stays for it. Mounting brackets, whatever you want to call them. Now you've seen the masking tape on there. The reason that's on there is because I actually started using the 3D scanner, even though I said I weren't going to spend much time on this one, and ended up making a diffuser for it. Put a set of my exhaust in there, mounted through the top. Peel the tape off and stick this on there with some double-sided tape. So that's the rear diffuser printed and fitted. It also uses two of my 3D printed exhausts as well. I've also put one of my stickers on the back window after removing countless stickers off it. That's the body pretty much done. Right, so the last thing that we need to do to get this ready to run is drop the electrics in it. So we're going to keep the same motor, same speed controller, but we're going to swap the receiver out for GR38 Fly Sky. That'll work with my Absimmer transmitter. So let's get the old receiver out and drop the new one in. So that's the electrics in. Now we're already off to a good start with this, bear in mind it's never been tested since I've had it. So first of all, couldn't get the motor to work at all, don't matter what I did with the endpoints and how I set up the speed controller, didn't work. If you give it a little jolt, it started running. So I checked the brushes out, now it's working. Now it was actually going faster in reverse than it was going forwards. So I've had to swap the wires around. And the next issue, you can see I've actually got an aluminium prop shaft in there, because the original one had a bit of a bend in it. It's hard to tell, but you can just about see it. You see it's dipping down slightly. So what was happening with that is, as it was going round and getting a bit of speed, it was actually hitting the tunnel. So that's all now sorted, and it's ready to test. Now the test is actually going to be in the next video, because we're going to have a few things to test, including, like I said, the resin printed wheels, the FDM printed wheels. These have got fairly thin spokes, so let's see how they hold up. Seems to be a fairly quick motor in it, so could be a good test. I'm also going to put a set of the solid tyres that are printed onto a set of rims. I'm going to throw them on, have a play about with it, and see how these hold up, how they perform, and just have a little bit of a mess around. So subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one, and we'll see what we can break.